Hello, I'm Hannah. I'm a Korean American who just graduated from the Korean English interpretation program at EWHA, and I was asked to make this video to answer, any questions that non-native Korean speakers like myself might have before applying to the program. So, like I mentioned, I'm Korean American, so that means my first language is English and my second language is Korean. And the way that I prepared, I would recommend, reading and watching a lot of the news, Korean news, so that you can get more advanced vocabulary under your belt, like not just vocabulary used in everyday conversation. And then also I'd recommend trying to improve your memorization skills as much as possible, since the exam is based on memory and not note-taking. In terms of if it's difficult to be a non-native speaker in the program, I would say the obvious con is that it can feel difficult to have your A and B languages flipped compared to everybody else's. So like your first language and your second language being flipped compared to everybody else's, because at least in my program, I was the only person who was Korean American, and so I was the only one whose languages were like kind of completely flipped like that. But of course, there's such a range for people, like people who spent time abroad and blah blah blah. But for the most part, I felt that 99% of the time everybody's Korean was better than mine, and that can be very psychologically challenging, right? And for me, I struggled a lot with my BA classes, which is interpreting into Korean. So it's quite challenging, but that's also a huge pro if you think about it, because it enables you to be in a super immersive environment where you can literally learn from everybody around you. And being in that environment with so many native Korean speakers really helped me improve my Korean in a short period of time, much faster than if I was studying this in a different country, for example. So I think those for me are the obvious like pros and cons. And I really enjoyed the program overall because it's very hands-on, it's very practical. We're not, sitting there learning theory most of the time. Like 95% of the time we're actually just interpreting, translating, critiquing each other, and learning like techniques that are connected to interpreting. So I think that's quite fun because you're very engaged and you understand why you're learning the things that you're learning. You understand like what it's all for. And so I think that's really helpful. And even outside of class, we do a lot of study sessions. So you're meeting like one-on-one with your classmates and preparing interpretation materials and basically just like hearing each other interpret and giving each other feedback. And we do this like many times a week. And I think in class and in these study sessions, it's just very hands-on. We're like actively interpreting, we're actively, critiquing each other. And so there's never a dull moment. You always have to be focused, which makes the time go by super fast. And then in addition to study sessions, there are opportunities for you to work throughout the program. Of course, your main focus will be school and classes, but there are opportunities through the school or even outside of the school for you to work and practice interpreting in like a work environment and get paid for it. So for example, during my program, some of us went to the 2024 Youth Olympics, which were held in Korea, and we were there for a couple of weeks and we were interpreting in various meetings. And so that was really fun because it showed me why we were learning the things we were learning in school. It helped me understand why our professors were emphasizing certain things and what I had to do as an interpreter. And it gave us a taste of what it's like to work as an interpreter, which is really, inspiring and exciting. So yeah, there's many opportunities like that throughout the school year and during the breaks where you can practice that sort of thing. Basically, all of that together essentially means that it's an extremely hands-on, like experiential, practical program. So it's very fun and very, very engaging, I think. I also really liked that our classes were quite small as well. We had maybe 7 to 12 students per class, and that enables us to get a lot of personalized feedback and to have a lot of opportunities for us to interpret. So I think that was really great. And then we're divided into groups to take our classes, and so you get to know everybody in your program really well, and you get to, you go to all your basically all of your classes together and do all your study sessions together and stuff. So there's a lot of opportunity to get to know your classmates and to have relationships with them. So I think that's also really nice. And most of our professors are still working in the field, so the advice they give us is very practical, it's very realistic, it's very helpful. I felt that our professors genuinely cared about us and our success, so they were always giving us really great advice, not only for our interpretation skills, but also just for our careers in general. So I really liked the program. I really liked being at EWHA. It's a beautiful campus. It's an all-women's university, which is amazing. So yeah, cannot recommend enough. And I think a question that people might have is, are there job opportunities after graduation, especially with the advent of AI? That's a huge issue. I took my graduation exam in December, and then I just graduated in February. Like the ceremony was in February, so I'm very freshly graduated, so I'm not the best person to answer that. But just from my perspective, many of my classmates that were in my program have already gotten jobs in the field. So I think there's definitely jobs out there. There's a lot of demand out there still for interpreters. And as for me personally, I'm a freelancer, so I'm still figuring out, my balance of work and, what area I'll be focusing in. But I've been pleasantly surprised that I haven't had a hard time getting jobs since I graduated. I've gotten a variety of jobs in a variety of fields already, and I'm just starting out, so we'll see how it goes. So as of now, there's definitely still demand. Who knows what fresh hell awaits us with AI and technology in the next few years. But as of now, there's definitely demand. And the last piece of advice I would say in regards to that is, obviously during your school year you'll be focused mostly on your classwork, but if there are opportunities for you to volunteer or pursue other hobbies and stuff, I would recommend it if you have the bandwidth and you can still get good grades and stuff, because I feel like it can help you identify what kind of interpreting work you want to go into, and it can also help you make connections that can help you in your career later on. Because for me, I volunteered a lot during my program, and I feel like I've been really pleasantly surprised because I've gotten a lot of jobs from the people that I met through those experiences, even though I wasn't doing that volunteer work for my career at all. And connected to that, I'm also interested in literary translation, and I was able to take literary translation classes while I was at EWHA as elective courses. And there are other elective courses as well, like legal translation or like science and technology translation or economics translations, that sort of thing. So you can take classes based on your interest. And those classes helped me to apply to various programs like BCLT in England, which was an amazing opportunity to network with literary translators. And then I also was selected to be the 2024 Korean Prose Mentee at ALTA, which is the American Literary Translators Association. So I had this really great opportunity to do this 9-month mentorship with an experienced literary translator, and then also attend the conference. And through that mentorship, I was able to place several of my short stories into literary magazines, so it was a great opportunity to get published and to learn a lot about literary translation and make a lot of connections. So actually now I am teaching at the Literary Translation Institute of Korea. I'm teaching literary translation there. So once again, you never know what can become a part of your career and what road that can take. So just keep in mind that there are many different ways that you can use the skills that you learn in this program. There's not just one path. So yes, so keep that in mind, keep your options open, and even during the program, try to find out what interests you and what you're passionate about. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful. I cannot recommend this program at EWHA enough, truly. I had a great time. I learned so much, and I'm super grateful to my professors and the school for helping set me up for a career that I'm actually interested in and excited about. So yes, hopefully you will apply, and maybe I'll see you out in the field sometime. Okay, goodbye.